Hey there, welcome to day 29 of the 30-day challenge of Silent Hill. Today's topic is an interesting one because I don't really feel like I have an outstanding answer for this. After thinking about it, I can't even really come up with one. But today's topic is the character you can relate to most. Um, I'm assuming all characters are open for this, but I'm going to go with the main one here, just so, it's easier for me to explain my selection. But I'll have to say James Sunderland, main character of Silent Hill 2. Now, I'm not killing my wife. Don't have a wife, but I wouldn't kill her. Nor am I, killing anyone else in my family. This is what happened, you see. As he was fed up with things, he ended up taking her life, and the game's the atonement for that. That's my perspective. Feel free to differ in that opinion. We can all get along. But I think, like him, I've also had moments in my life where the 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 thought of coming to terms with something that you did is so not reprehensible. That's a strong word for it, but it's one of those things that you'd rather never face if you don't have to, but inside you know that you do. Which is the entire, like I said, the entirety of Silent Hill 2 basically is James looking for his wife, realizing that he's the one who ended up taking her life, and it's just some sort of closure, I think, moment. Whether you debate whether is it all in his head or is this town's evil cult making these demons manifest. I don't know. That's up to your interpretation or the word of the gods, aka the creators of the series. But that's not the important part to me. What's important to me is the things he's going through. Now, like I said, I can't really say that I've had the personal connection of marriage with somebody. So I've not also experienced like things like with Maria, where it's you're imagining what if someone has all the desirable qualities you like. I've actually have seen that in small ways where I'm thinking to myself, well, what if this person didn't have these qualities? The ones that I dislike. What if they were perfect in my image, as if I'm the god of that world? Which one could argue James helped make Maria into being because she's obviously a carbon copy of Mary. It's my opinion though. But also like James, as I was saying, his unable to confront issues yet knowing he must. I've experienced that myself. I'm not really going to get personal and share things on here because I think this is a channel for good fun times, but there have been times definitely where I'd rather just, and this is a childish thing to say, but you'd rather just make it all go away and just forget it. But you can't do that. You have to, as many of my friends would say, you have to man up and take care of business. Make sure that you're held accountable for the things you've committed. Um, it sounds very religious, but it's not. I think it's just based on the moral fiber of being that we've come to expect in society. I guess also, like James, I have a tendency to rush into things before I know what I'm getting into. Those of you who play the game know exactly what I'm talking about. Where he has a tendency of being like, okay, well, into Silent Hill, that's where Mary's at, obviously, based on the flashbacks in the game. He's deducted where she is. And even after he sees these monsters, he keeps pressing forward. Now, you could argue because they're manifestations of him, like I was saying earlier in my theory. But forget about that for a minute. He's willingly running through these dangerous situations and not really holding back. Like, every time you encounter Pyramid Head in the game, it seems like an area that you should be running out of immediately. Think of like Metroid Fusion, if you guys have ever played that for the Game Boy Advance, where when you run into the dark version of the main character, you run the hell away until you're properly equipped. titles like that and scenarios like that are the ones that make sense. Yet he just dashes into problems without thinking about it. I do the same thing myself. I try to help people by doing slightly reckless things sometimes, and it always affects me at some point. Or people are saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that." If nothing happens. But I don't know. Those are just some of the reasons. I don't want to ramble on for too long about the theory that I was mentioning earlier, because you can find a lot more similarities in characters, but you get the point. I think that in ways we all see reflections of ourselves in the characters that we're put into as the player. Is it because we're controlling them and we're thinking about it? Possibly. Or is it just because we're looking at our player avatar on the screen and we're projecting our own views and experiences into them and thinking, let me use them to react to how I feel inside, maybe, depending on what kind of games you play. Obviously, if you're playing Call of Duty and you're not a Marine, you don't really have that, but you might have violent tendencies you're expressing in a healthy way. Okay, this video is rambling on now, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. And stay tuned for the final day coming up next.